spanning over 2 decades, you have to agree with me that I am not handing over to a stranger, and therefore I'm feeling extremely confident that the work that we've done together will be continued under Honorable Justin Muturi. CS, I want to assure you that we have a great team here. This is a ministry, as the PA has said, that is very, very important and very pivotal in the affairs of our government. Because we are the software, we are the people, we are the hands that, when we talk about government, this is government. Anybody else claiming to be government is an employee of these people, including His Excellency the President. The bosses are here. And so therefore, and this is very, very important point, because the 1 million people who work for government of Kenya are all public servants. That's the definition, and so you are the biggest employer in the country with 1 million people. If a HR department in a company, a small company, is important, you can start to imagine the human resource department for 1 million people. And so therefore it requires very diligent management, and I'm sure that you'll be able to take forward from the very great work that this team were doing. What I would tell you is, first of all, from a human resource point of view, we were in the beginning of course, it's not easy to reform. Civil service reform, everybody has, gone around that particular issue from back in 2005 when we initiated the civil service reform. It's not an easy topic, and I hope that now that we have a broad-based government, it will create a conducive environment to do that very difficult, that must be done, of reforming our civil service. I'm sure PS will share with you the figures this team have provided with me before, showing that, of course, our working force is aging. We have got quite, around 20 to 30% of people working for government. By the time, hopefully, if you see your term in this office to the end of this government, you'll go home with 30% of the people working for government. That's quite a number. And that calls for very meticulous transition planning and very deliberate decision making as to what must be done, because having 30% of civil service transitioning is not easy. Of course, productivity remains a huge issue. The wage bill in April, we held the third wage bill conference, and it was very clear that our wage bill is now in the region of 46% of our tax collection, or of our GDP, I think. And now we have to bring it down to 35% in the next 3 years. We've signed commitment to that. I'm sure it's part of our handover document, the 10 commitments that we agreed together with the Council of Governors when His Excellency the President officiated over the public wage bill conference in Bomas of Kenya. So those are commitments. They were done on live TV. They were done publicly, and so it must be implemented. I'm sure that that is one of the issues that you give attention, because if we do not do something about our wage bill, now starting at around 1.1 trillion, from morning until now, we are working for public servants in terms of our tax collection. Only the taxes are to be collected from 3 p.m. mpaka kufunga kazi. That is what will go to the rest of Kenyans. So, and this is a huge issue. It's not just an economic issue. It is a moral issue. Because you people are only 1 million. You consume 1.1 trillion. We collect 2.4 trillion of taxes. The rest of Kenyans scrabble for the other 1.3, between our debts, between our development, between O&M, and all other things. So the issue of public service reform, managing the wage bill, is not a nice to have. It is a must have, and I want to assure you that it requires you need to stay the course. It's not easy, and I can assure you that you will not make many friends. But I will echo the words of the President during the Wage Bill conference. In this kind of a job, if you want to be praised, perhaps you need to consider a career in comedy. Those are the words of the President during the Wage Bill conference, because it is not easy, and the things that are here are not going to win us a lot of friends. Obviously, we have got this huge issue of work ethic. We try to resolve it the best way we knew how, by saying everybody must be on contract. That's a decision that the government has to continue looking at it. But in any case, should you decide to go that direction, you are not short of examples, including in the US, where everybody is a contract worker, so that people, when their contracts come up for renewal, they have to account for their productivity, and that is not easy. The other huge problem we are going to face is on the relationship between this Ministry of Public Service and the Public Service Commission. I am convinced from where I sit. I know, as sure as day follows night, we are going back to bombers. This constitution must be reviewed, and I will personally be on the forefront of that effort to review this constitution. One of my priorities is I do not see, and I'm convinced I can say it in broad daylight, and I'm saying it here, there is no value in the independence of the Public Service Commission. That is one independence, alongside the National Lands Commission, alongside the Teacher Service Commission. Honorable CS, you know, me and you are part of the ancestors who made this constitution. And so you know, we were in Naivasha with you. And that time, everybody was hiding behind independence. I want to be independent, because we came from a wounded history whereby everybody was trying to use constitution to sort out all the scores that they had from the previous years. But it's about time now to face it and ask. Today, you only can say, I want someone hired for this position. Then you totally lose control. Yeah, I have not seen any value or benefit that having an independent public service commission is having this country. And certainly, it's one of the issues that we are going to look at when it comes to us reviewing our constitution, because you are completely powerless. You hear, as a ministry has sent something called an indent to Public Service Commission, interviews are happening, you have no idea. Yet you are the one who is in charge of this function of not just public service, but the new department, the new ministry, as aptly named Human Capital Development. Let me assure you, as we speak, that Human Capital Development is just a theory until we look at this issue about the Public Service Commission. And when we are at it, and I can say this even on camera, people who are now hiding behind independent commissions and independent offices, it has become a den of corruption. It is a fact, and I've told Chairman of the Public Service Commission, and I've told the commissioners that they have some questions to answer to Kenyans, not to me. Yeah, there are rumors all over. If you want to be hired as a driver, it's 100,000 shillings. There's a price list. It goes all up to 5 million shillings for some sensitive positions. But you tell me, somebody who wants to be hired as a driver, where are they going to get 100,000 shillings? Yeah, that is now the benefit of this so-called independence of the Public Service Commission that we give ourselves to this constitution. So I would want Kenyans and all of us to ask ourselves, is buying a job for 100,000 shillings for a driver who is going to be paid 20,000 shillings, you ask them to cough 100,000 shillings in bribes? It is totally morally unacceptable. Yeah, and I am not sure that the framers of this constitution, you and I included, I'm not sure that what we intended to do with this independence of the Public Service Commission is to enrich some people and to impoverish young Kenyans who have to pay 100,000 shillings to get the job as a driver. So that is something really that you, Ambassador Mushiri, and the team at the Public Service Commission, it's a rotten place. I have no doubt saying that. I have said it publicly. I have said it to them. If they were here, I would still say the same thing, that it is morally unacceptable that you cannot get any job without paying a bribe at the Public Service Commission. And most importantly, that was not the spirit and the intention of the framers of this constitution, that we have to scramble for that you have to enrich some people and impoverish other people. Obviously, you had Professor Njogona Ndungu, my fellow evictee, what he said during the handover about the integration of the payroll. It is just unbelievable, Honorable CS, that now some people working in ministries, not even in county government, that we deduct the pay as you earn, and the same is not remitted to Treasury. Treasury has been having issues, and the CS Njogona Ndungu reached out to me. We formed a task force, which I think PS is going to bring you up to speed. CS Ndungu said it is not a small issue, it's a major issue, that having a payroll system that is not talking to our IFMIs is just another hamburger, another den for some funny games which are happening there. At this age and time also, our human resource systems have progressed a lot all over the world, and it is actually a return to Stone Age to have people developing things like payroll systems, HR systems internally. I refuse to go for that route. I was in the middle of changing that, and Treasury is committed to that. So it's about time to see this as just a human resource department, like any other company in the private sector, and really ask ourselves, where is the world going? Is the world going with some people with some funny laptops there, trying to develop some systems here? And resistance, as Jonah said, there has been a lot of resistance. I face resistance on that particular issue, and I wish you the best as you try to navigate that. Overall, you know where we are in terms of our revenue regime. We cannot afford to lose even 1 shilling of tax revenue. And losing this tax revenue on the basis of PAYE from government itself, it's something that is totally not acceptable. I've raised it with Treasury, we have raised it with the Secretary of the President. All the facts are known out there, and it's something that we have to see to the very end. Of course, we have got our National Youth Service. We have started some reforms there. The President has been very keen on that. The PS and the teams have been on that trajectory with the Presidential Economic Council. I really do hope that that will see the end of the day. The things that we agreed in terms of budgetary allocation, I didn't see them, and even the little that was there, I think it was affected the budget cut. But we really need to be candid and say, are we still on that trajectory of increasing the NOS recruitment to 100,000 servicemen and women by the year 2027? And if so, is it going to be financed through Exchequer? And if not, are we going to be on course for the engineering program to make NYS sustainable? But even that engineering exercise requires some seed capital. I'm very much encouraged by Kenya School of Government, the work we did there, our journey towards making sure that every civil servant must be trained. Having people in the civil service who are not trained is like getting people from the streets, giving them guns and calling them police without going through Kikanjo. It is anarchy and it is complete madness. But that is exactly what we are doing in government. We get people from the schools, from the colleges, from the universities. We hire them. We don't take them through any form of induction training, and then we expect them to perform, and even more so, to think together, to avoid corruption, and to have a good work ethic. But where did they learn? Because they were never trained, they were never inducted to be able to think together. So there's a cabinet memo that is there for the mandatory courses, which I hope that you can dust it off and present it to cabinet so that we can be able to make it mandatory that everybody must pass through the Kenya School of Government for this to make sense. We were also in the process of making the Kenya School of Government a center for climate. I think that conversation is ongoing. The Global Center for Adaptation. I really want to ask you to give your support to that particular program, because it's really going to change the map. The kind of program that we put together from the team that was brought by the President from the Global Center for Adaptation can really transform Kenya School of Government to a leading center for climate and green finance. And I really hope that within your tenure we can be able to complete that journey. Further, also we have we started negotiation and discussions with the AUD NEPAD to make KSG a Pan-African institution. Right now, as we speak, I've left a KSG that is serving 25 countries. We are training on behalf of 25 African countries. and we have agreed even with the Obama Leadership Institute and the Harvard Kennedy School of Government that they will also use KSG as a center of excellence for leadership training. So having it as a center for finance, having it as a Pan-African institution, the African School of Government, which we are committed to complete within the next 3 years by 2027, and having the same to be a center of excellence for leadership is really going to propel that to the next level. Let me just touch briefly on the issue of the Huduma centers, another area which is we have really made progress. For the last 10 years, 11 years now, we found 52 centers, 52 Huduma centers. Huduma center is the only center, government thing, which mwananchi ask for. Government don't exist to be loved. I've never seen something loved by mwananchi, which is government, like Huduma center, which is a very rare thing. So we embarked on a journey to expand from what the other Uhuru Kenyatta government did for 10 years, 52 centers. From the time, for the 9-10 months that I was in this ministry, we actually did open Makutano in Laikipia County. We now opened, the president opened the 3 in a whole county was opened on a single day. That is the Tharaka Nithi County, in Tharaka, in Mara, and in Shukenga Bangombe, in one day by the president, last week but one. Now we've left Runyenjes. We do the groundbreaking, the first project to be done jointly by the NYS and Huduma, and I believe that is going very well in Runyenjes. We have got others like Gatundu North, and a whole overall. Because I changed the model for this, working with the CDF, to have CDF funding 23 million shillings, and we have the PQs from the State Department for Public Works. We have got 30 constituencies which have set aside money. So from day one, it's just a rollout issue. 30 members of parliament have approvals from the previous budget, not even from this budget. This year, once we start seeing what's happening, because the demand is up there, and I think the partnership between Huduma Kenya and NYS to accelerate the rollout of these Huduma centers, which are also coming with is a digital hub. That's why we're calling it the Huduma Jitume centers. So I really want to encourage you to work with your counterpart from the Ministry of ICT, so that every Huduma, starting with what we are doing in Runyenjes, is also a digital hub where Kenyans can be able to work there and get some digital jobs, which the government is advocating. I know we have got people from our GDS and performance contracting. I think the roadshow which you participated in, that we did early this year, was very, very, very important. The 212 projects that we agreed is what to be followed up can really propel this country to the next level. We also committed to migrating to a new performance contracting framework, what we are calling PC 2.0, so that the needs, the priorities of this administration are also, embalmed and engraved in the performance contracting regime, so that the performance contracting framework becomes a tool for assisting the Kenya Kwanza administration to be able to achieve our objective. So basically, that is what I would say. I wish you well. I want to say that this is a quiet ministry. It's a quiet ministry. Sometimes I felt like it's like making a noise in a hospital ward, because it's normally a very quiet place, and I came here with a lot of noise, and knowing your demeanor, maybe it's about time to calm it down and bring the noise down. Thank you very much. Thank you.